figure that out yet.
Well, thank God. This song is called, I really like this song. It really ministered to me about I am not alone. And a lot of times when you witness in the family, they're not always really happy about it. You know, I don't shove the gospel down people's throat, you know, I mean, I'm pretty gentle, you know, witnessing and stuff like that. And recently, I was at not too long ago, I was at my uncle's funeral. And it was a pretty tough one to do because this was the uncle that, he was the one who shot my dad in self-defense. So that being the case, when I saw the people, I talked to him on his deathbed, and it didn't go really well. He told me about what happened, and I tried to pray for him, and he's like, absolutely not, don't touch me, or anything like that, you know. So the family was not very aloof from me, never really, you know, sometimes if you want to talk to them, you got to call, or if you want to see them, you have to be the one to go see them, because, you know, so a lot of times you feel really alone like that. It was interesting because the next day, after my uncle died, the next day I went down and saw the family. And so the daughter said to me, you know, well, I thought you really hated us. And I said, no, I didn't hate you guys. I mean, it's like I told my uncle on his deathbed, he was telling me the story about what happened with my dad. And I said, you know what? He brought me to absolute tears. And I told him, I said, you know, and this is what I said at the funeral to everybody there. People said, you should never ever talk about this in the family. It's always a hush-hush thing what happened. But I told my uncle, I said, you know what? I'm so grateful that you defended, because my dad was a violent person. When my mom died, he began to drink really, really heavy, became a violent person. And I said, you know what? I'm grateful that you defended my brother and I. And the mother, my grandmother, because he was basically saying, well, when I was behind the door, my dad was there struggling with his mother, and my grandmother was saying to her son, you know, my dad, stop that, don't do that, you know. So in fear from what he might do, I mean, I told him, you know, my brother and I, people would have always maybe wondered what happened to Ronnie and Billy, whatever became of their lives, because we probably would have been with our dad. He got killed in a drunken driving accident or something like that. So I told him how grateful I was that he defended us. And so my uncle basically said, I opened that door, and he was really messing with his mother, you know. And what my dad was doing, he stopped what he was doing, and he turned and he looked at his little brother there, with 10 years difference in him. And my dad was a fighter. When my uncle had defended us, he was only about 18 years old. My dad was 29. And so he knew what might happen, so he had a gun in case something would ever happen. And he said, I just got back in the bedroom and I stood there. And I didn't try to move. And then your dad started coming at me. I just had to let him have it. And he died on the floor there, you know. And I just said, I said, you know what, Uncle, and as I said, told you at the funeral, thank you for defending us. I don't hate you. I never have. I thank God. I believe that God used you to intervene to save all of us. And so, anyway, a lot of times when you have to stand up and you have to make a stand, you need to share the gospel, even when hard times like that. And of course, I give an altar call. Anybody want to receive Christ, you need to repent because, you know, heaven and hell is real. And nobody responded, lifted their hand, but I believe God really dealt with people. But sometimes in doing that, you can feel really, really alone in doing that. And when I heard this song, it really blessed me, ministered